One of my goals down here is to go fishing with my e-bike, and in order to do so I need a way to carry my fishing rods. So instead of just taking some PVC and clamping it on the sides, I wanted to try something maybe that was designed for doing just that, carrying fishing rods. So I found this thing on Amazon. It's called the Bike Fisherman, and it holds 2 fishing poles. It's got a strap here that will hold the handles down so it doesn't bounce out, but it's designed to go on just any bike. But since the frame of a e-bike is a little unique, you know, it's thicker in parts than it is in others, and I also have a toe peak rack on the back, I wanted to see if maybe I could make this work with my toe peak rack, and I think I'm going to be able to do it, but that's what I'm going to try to set up right now. So this Bike Fisherman, it comes with some hose clamps, and it comes with 2 different sizes, and then it has a rubber half grommet type thing that goes around so that it doesn't scratch your bike frame, which is pretty cool. Came with 2 sizes. Now I looked at down here as a mounting point, and this is, I don't even know what to call this shape, but it's not round. It's like a sideways triangle. How about that for a technical term? And then up here it is round, but it's pretty thick, and I would have to get a little bit bigger hose clamp in order to make it fit over here. But if I did put it over here, then the fishing rod rack would sit kind of in here, and I've got these bars on this toe peak rack that would probably get in the way once I put the fishing rod in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mount this rod holder to the toe peak frame, and I kind of checked it out before, sized it up. I think it's going to work. I haven't put it on yet, but let me get to it and we'll see what happens. This mounting bar here on the toe peak rack is actually it's a bar, right? So it's not round. So I took this hose clamp and I bent it just a little bit to sort of make it flat, and I think that's going to work just about like this, and that'll be able to come together when I clamp that on. So up here, this bar here is actually a little thin. It's a beefy bar for the toe peak rack, but for this mount it's a little small. So what I did was I took a large hose clamp that came with the rod mount, and it's got a rubber thing on it, rubber grommet I'm going to call it, and then I took the small rubber grommet off of the small rack and I put it on the inside here just to narrow down this orifice, and I think I can slide this on here, and when I clamp that down, that's going to hold that for me, just like that. It comes with all the hardware, and this thing has a long slot in it. Let me hold that so you can see that long slot, and then this hole here is for the bottom mount there, and this is so you can adjust the angle and mount it to wherever you need to here. So let me do the bottom one first, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I put the screw through the bottom hole, get that through the hose clamp, get the locking washer on there first, and get the nut started. Try not to cross thread that. There we go. Okay, so before I tighten that up, I'm going to get this mount up just about where I think it's going to work on here, and I think it's going to be something like this. So this top one will be a little bit of a test. I'll see if I can actually get that hose clamp to tighten up around that smaller bar. I think I'm going to be able to. Let me get this in the longer slot and get that through the hose clamp. There we go. Something like that. I'm wrestling with it just a little bit, but let me get it started. just so it doesn't fall off. So here's the angle I've got that at, and I'm gonna move this up just a hair so I have a little bit more of a up down. I want that fishing rods to angle backwards just a bit, so I think something like that might work for me. Let me just snug this up so I can make sure the bottom is adjusted first. Okay. Now I don't know if this top one's going to snug up quite enough. I gotta figure it out. It bounces just a little bit. So I've got both mounts. I've got this one, and they're both snugged up. This one though, you can see a little space in between there. It's very snug, but since this is so close to this, getting a little bit of this. It's kind of difficult to do, but I would think it would bounce around if I hit bumps and whatnot. Here's what I'm going to do. I've got this side over here. I think I'm going to drill a small hole there and zip tie that right to that and just lock it in just like that. Here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to put a little zip tie from here to this other bar, and then I'm going to lock that in. We'll see if that works. Okay, so I reposition things so you can get a better look at what I'm doing. And this backside has a mold, and so I'm going to go in right here on the edge, about even with that bar. I've got a 1/4 inch drill bit that I'm putting through here. Zip tie. And again, I know it's not designed to do this, but since I'm putting it in a position on the bike that it's not designed to be in, if I have to do a little modification myself, it doesn't bother me a bit. Thing's mounted and it's locked. It's not going anywhere. I can't move that at all. Let's put a rod in there and see what it looks like. Okay, we're out in the sun now, so I'm hoping you can see that, but this strap right here, rod goes in, strap comes across, hooks over here, and it's not going to fall out. Let's take a look. I want to make sure it doesn't lean out too far from the side. Let me hold the bike upright so we can get a good look. And I don't think that angles out too bad at all. And it won't be too far over the top of my head because I wanted that mount to sit lower so that the rod wouldn't hit the trees, palm trees, as they ride by. Okay, fish rod mount on the bike is done, and now I've got my fishing license. The only thing I need to do is actually go fishing, and I'll try to make one of those videos here in the not too distant future. Hope you found this interesting. If you did, please do me a favor, subscribe or hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video.